What if the peace you crave is not found in silence, but hidden in the chaos you fear? Nietzsche believed calm is forged in struggle, not comfort. Stay with me and discover how to turn every challenge into fuel for unshakable inner strength. You came here for a reason. Deep down, you know the peace you want has been slipping further away. No matter how many books you read or apps you try, you wake up scrolling, go to bed exhausted, and somewhere in between you wonder, is this all there is? Here is the truth Nietzsche forces us to face. The problem is not that your life is too chaotic. The problem is that you have been taught to fear the very energy that could set you free. What looks like stress, conflict, or frustration is raw power waiting to be harnessed. Nietzsche called it the will to power, and he believed it is the engine behind every human breakthrough. Stay with me, because what you are about to learn can flip the way you think about peace, resilience, and growth. This is not just another motivational talk telling you to breathe deeply and block out negativity. This is a philosophy and psychology blueprint that turns your darkest moments into fuel for your strongest self. Here is what you can expect in the next 20 minutes. First, you will see the philosophical foundation of Nietzsche's radical idea, explained in a way that makes sense for real life. Next, you will explore how modern psychology confirms his insight, with stories from history and today that prove it works. Then I will give you a set of tools you can apply immediately. Not vague affirmations, but specific strategies you can use tonight, tomorrow, and every day after. Imagine walking into your week with the ability to face setbacks without panic. Imagine turning failures into confidence and chaos into clarity. That is not just philosophy. That is a practical system for mindset mastery. If you watch until the end and commit to even one of these tools, you will feel a shift, maybe small at first, like a breath of calm you can finally trust. But stack those wins, and you will start building an inner strength that no distraction, no critic, no setback can touch. This is Nietzsche's counterintuitive secret, and today, it is yours to use. From chaos to calm, Nietzsche's radical idea. Most people think peace means the absence of struggle. We imagine quiet mornings, no deadlines, no arguments, no pain. But what if that image is the very reason peace feels so far away? Nietzsche believed calm does not arrive when life removes its storms. It appears when you learn to walk inside them. That was his radical idea. Serenity is not the prize for avoiding struggle. It is the strength you forge through it. To understand this, you have to start with his notion of the will to power. At first it sounds abstract, even intimidating, but in truth it is something you already feel every day. The will to power is the basic force in life that drives every living thing to grow, to expand, to overcome. Think of a seed buried in hard soil. Left alone, it should wither. But something inside pushes it upward. Against the weight of dirt and stone, it stretches until it breaks through and reaches the light. That relentless push is the will to power in action. Nietzsche believed humans carry the same impulse. Every time you push through exhaustion, every time you refuse to quit after failure, every time you rise again when it would be easier to stay down, you are obeying that same instinct. The problem is not that the will to power is missing. The problem is that society teaches us to silence it. We are told to avoid discomfort, to settle for security, to chase the smooth path. But when you bury your drive to overcome, something inside you starts to decay. You shrink. You feel restless. Resentment creeps in. Life loses its spark. Nietzsche argued this is why so many people live quietly frustrated. They have traded their instinct to grow for the illusion of comfort. He knew this not only in theory but in his own life. Nietzsche was no stranger to pain. He suffered migraines so severe they left him bedridden for days. His health broke down early. forcing him to resign from his professorship. He lived much of his life in isolation, his writings mocked and ignored. On paper, his biography looks like defeat, yet he turned that suffering into fuel. In lonely alpine towns, pacing the mountains with notebook in hand, he shaped ideas that would change philosophy forever. His famous words, "What does not kill me makes me stronger," were not a slogan for posters. They were survival notes carved out of real pain. Nietzsche lived the very truth he taught. Peace is not granted to the unscarred. It is created by those who master their scars. This truth matters even more today. Our chaos may look different, but it is chaos all the same. Instead of horse-drawn carriages and academic ridicule, we face endless notifications, relentless deadlines, and the pressure to always keep up. If you wait for the world to hand you peace, you will wait forever. But if you decide to use the storm, to let pressure sharpen instead of crush you, then peace becomes something you can carry with you anywhere. Modern psychology has proven him right. A study from the University of Wisconsin in 2013 tracked thousands of people under stress. Those who believed stress was harmful showed higher rates of illness and even death. But those who believed the same stress was useful showed no increase in mortality. The difference was not the amount of stress. It was the mindset attached to it. This echoes Nietzsche perfectly. Stress does not destroy you by itself. The meaning you give it decides whether it weakens or strengthens you. Consider another example, the growth mindset studied by psychologist Dweck. Her research shows that people who see challenges as chances to grow outperform those who see them as threats. This is Nietzsche's philosophy alive in classrooms, boardrooms, and homes today. The will to power is not about domination. It is about saying yes to struggle because you know what waits on the other side is strength. History offers vivid stories of this truth. Take Beethoven. Imagine being one of the greatest composers alive and then losing your hearing. Silence should have ended his career. Instead, he used it as fuel to create the Ninth Symphony, music that still shakes the soul. The triumph in that music is not born of ease. It is forged in the furnace of struggle. That is why it carries a peace more profound than quiet ever could. Or think of modern figures like Michael Jordan. As a teenager, he was cut from his high school basketball team. Many would have given up. Instead, he transformed that rejection into relentless practice, building not only skill but an indomitable mindset. His career became a living example of Nietzsche. As truth, the fire of peace is lit by friction, and for those who want a practical test, Nietzsche offered one of the most challenging thought experiments ever imagined: eternal recurrence. Picture your life exactly as it is. Now imagine living it over and over. The same choices, the same struggles, the same joys, repeated for eternity. Would you curse that idea? Or could you embrace it? If you recoil in horror, perhaps you are running from life. But if you can say yes, if you can affirm even the hard parts, then you have discovered the key to serenity. You have owned your life fully. That radical yes is the heart of Nietzsche's philosophy. This idea still shocks people because it is the opposite of what we are sold. Advertisements tell us peace can be bought. Apps promise calm at the tap of a screen. Society whispers that if you just remove stress, you will finally be happy. Nietzsche says the opposite. Peace is not passive. It is not something you wait for or buy. It is forged in the act of engagement, and leaning forward when others lean back, and turning wounds into wisdom. So what does this mean for you? It means peace is not waiting on the other side of your challenges. It is inside the challenges themselves. The next time you face pressure, remember this. Do not ask for it to disappear. Ask how it can shape you. Do not waste your pain. Use it. Nietzsche's radical idea can be summed up in one line: chaos does not block serenity, it creates it. The moment you stop running, the moment you embrace the will to power inside you, you begin to build a calm that knows setback and touch. And once you see this, you stop waiting for peace to arrive. You start creating it. How to turn struggle into strength. You already know Nietzsche's radical claim. Peace is not found in comfort. It is built in struggle. The question now is simple but essential. How do you apply this to your own life in a way that actually changes how you feel and how you act? The answer begins with a shift of perspective, reframing struggle. Most of us see struggle as a warning sign, a signal that something is wrong. Stress at work means failure. Tension in a relationship means disaster. Pressure in life means we must be doing something incorrectly. But Nietzsche challenges you to flip that view. Struggle is not a signal of weakness. It is a signal that you are alive, that you are growing, that your will to power is pushing forward. Psychology confirms this. Kelly McGonigal, a health psychologist at Stanford, found that people who view stress as harmful experience more negative health outcomes than those who see the same stress as useful. The stress is identical. The difference is the frame. Your mindset decides whether stress poisons you or sharpens you. Nietzsche predicted this truth more than a century earlier. Think about the gym. Muscles only grow by facing resistance. Without stress, there is no growth. In the same way, life as pressure is not a threat to peace, but the weight you must push against to build it. The power of meaning reframing is the first step, but it is not enough. Struggle becomes strength only when tied to meaning. Nietzsche wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow." Later, Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, confirmed this truth. In concentration camps, those who could locate a purpose, even in suffering, were far more likely to survive. Your life works the same way. If you see stress at work as pointless, it drains you. If you connect it to a larger mission, it energizes you. A breakup framed as wasted time breaks you down. The same breakup framed as preparation for deeper love builds you up. Meaning is the engine that converts pressure into peace. Case study: the comeback mindset. Consider Steve Jobs, fired from Apple, the very company he created. He faced humiliation and collapse. Many would have retreated into bitterness. Instead, Jobs reframed the failure as fuel. He launched Next and nurtured Pixar. Years later, he returned to Apple with more vision than before. The company's rebirth was not in spite of his setback. It was because of it. Or look at Serena Williams. Throughout her career, she faced injuries, defeats, and personal criticism. But each time, she returned stronger, reframing every loss as a lesson. Her dominance on the court is not built on comfort. It is built on her capacity to turn struggle into fuel. These stories show Nietzsche's philosophy alive today. Struggle is not the enemy. It is the training ground. Everyday playbook. So how do you practice this in daily life? Here are 3 domains where you can start. Work. Instead of dodging the hard project, take it on. Even if you stumble, you learn more than by staying safe. The tension builds both skill and confidence. Relationships. Avoiding conflict feels easier in the moment, but it erodes connection. Facing hard conversations with honesty and courage builds respect and intimacy. Personal growth. Challenge yourself physically, mentally, creatively. Run the extra mile. Write the page you have been postponing. Learn the skill that intimidates you. Each small act of courage reinforces your identity as someone who can rise. Psychologists call this stress inoculation. Just as vaccines use a weakened virus to build immunity, small doses of voluntary struggle build resilience. The more you practice, the more your brain and body adapt. Over time, What once triggered fear now sparks focus, linking back to peace. Here is the paradox. The more you step into struggle, the less chaos controls you. Peace is not the absence of storms. It is the confidence that you can face them. This is why people who challenge themselves consistently show lower levels of anxiety and higher levels of life satisfaction. They stop fearing struggle. They start using it. Nietzsche's vision and modern psychology converge on this point. Peace is not soft. It is not fragile. It is not something you wait for. It is the result of deliberate engagement with life. Bridge to the toolkit. So far you have seen how to reframe stress, how to anchor it to meaning, and how to watch struggle transform from obstacle to opportunity. But philosophy and psychology only carry you halfway. To make this practical, you need tools. In the next section, we will open a clear, 5-part toolkit you can use starting today. These are not vague suggestions. They are specific steps that anchor Nietzsche's will to power into your daily routine. Once you apply them, you will stop waiting for peace to arrive. You will start building it, moment by moment, habit by habit. The Nietzsche Toolkit, 5 daily power moves. Ideas only matter when you live them. Nietzsche's philosophy becomes real the moment you bring it into your routine. These 5 power moves are simple enough to start today, yet powerful enough to shift how you handle pressure. Practice them consistently and you will feel the difference. First move, the affirmation audit. Tomorrow morning, right after brushing your teeth, grab a notebook and take 3 minutes. Write down 3 moments from yesterday that shaped you. One of them must be something difficult. Then say to yourself, "This was necessary for my growth." At first it feels forced, but after 2 weeks, you will have 20 entries staring back at you. Proof that your struggles are no longer wasted. They have become fuel. Second move, power mapping. Once a week, set aside a quiet Sunday evening. Take 10 minutes to draw for circles, work, relationships, health, and personal growth. Inside each, write 1 challenge you have been avoiding. Then, next to it, write 1 small action you will take this week to face it. Maybe it is a tough conversation at work, a job you keep postponing, or a skill you have been afraid to learn. By the end of the week, you will see which circles you actually moved forward. The map keeps you honest, and it keeps you growing. Third move, the eternal recurrence test. The next time you face a big choice, whether to leave a job, start a project, or commit to a relationship, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, if I had to live this choice over and over, every day of my life, would I still choose it? If the answer is yes, you know it comes from authenticity, not fear. If the answer is no, you know it is avoidance. Most people run from this test because it is uncomfortable. But if you use it just a few times each month, it prevents regret before it begins. Fourth move, creative transmutation. Picture the last time you were stressed and wanted to scroll on your phone or snack your way through frustration. Instead of escaping, redirect that energy. Journal your thoughts for 10 minutes. Go for a run. Sketch something, or even clean your space with intensity. The point is simple. Raw emotion is power, and you get to decide whether it destroys or creates. Do this 3 times a week, and you will notice the reflex building. Stress hits, and instead of numbing out, you turn it into momentum. Fifth move, the Overman Journal. Once a week, usually on Sunday night, look back and record 1 moment where you overcame yourself. It does not have to be dramatic. It might be speaking up in a meeting, finishing a workout you wanted to skip, or handling conflict with patience. And the entry with the words, "This is how I am becoming who I am." After a month, you will have 4 entries that remind you of your progress. After a year, you will hold a book of victories. And when the next storm comes, you can open those pages and remember exactly who you are becoming. Why these moves work: each practice targets a different part of your life. The audit reframes your past. Mapping clarifies your present. The recurrence test directs your future choices. Creative transmutation channels your emotions. And the journal cements your identity. Alone, each is useful. Together, they create a rhythm that rewires how you experience struggle. And here is the beauty: none of them take more than a few minutes. In total, you are investing less than half an hour a week. But over time, the compound effect is enormous. A month from now, you will notice a calmer response to stress. A year from now, you will carry an inner peace that no setback can take away. Nietzsche's philosophy is no longer abstract. It is in your notebook, in your choices, in your body, and in your story. And it is shaping you into someone who no longer waits for calm, but creates it. The calm you create, you have seen it now. Inner peace is not something the world hands to you. It is not waiting in silence, and it is not found in comfort. It is something you build, piece by piece, every time you choose to face life instead of running from it. Nietzsche's counterintuitive secret is simple, but it is not easy. Peace does not arrive when you escape chaos. It arrives when you master it. The struggles you wanted to avoid are the very raw material for the strength you are looking for. Think back on your own life. The moments that shaped you most were not the easy ones. They were the nights you pushed through doubt, the mornings you rose after failure, the seasons you thought you could not survive but did. In those moments, you did more than endure. You created yourself. That is the will to power alive inside you. It is not about control over others. It is about mastery of self. It is about taking what hurts and making it fuel. It is about choosing growth when it would be easier to retreat, and the reward is calm, not the fragile calm that disappears with the next problem, but a calm that is alive and unshakable. Imagine living with that kind of calm. You wake up knowing that no matter what day throws at you, you have trained for it. Stress is not your enemy anymore. It is your signal to rise. Failure is not proof you are weak. It is proof you are shaping strength. Even heartbreak is not the end. It is a beginning. That mindset changes everything. This is why Nietzsche still matters. His philosophy is not just old words in a dusty book. It is a blueprint for modern resilience. It explains why avoiding stress leaves us anxious and restless, and why facing it gives us confidence and clarity. It gives you tools to practice, habits to stack, and a path to follow. But here is the challenge. Philosophy only works if you live it. So here is my invitation. Choose one tool from the Nietzsche Toolkit and commit to it for the next 7 days. Maybe it is the affirmation audit. Maybe it is the eternal recurrence test. Whatever you choose, do it fully. At the end of the week, ask yourself how you feel. My bet is you will notice a shift, a small one at first, but real. If you do, keep going. Stack the tools. Build the rhythm. Watch as your inner calm grows stronger. This is not about perfection. It is about progress. It is about becoming someone who is not broken by chaos but shaped by it. And when you feel that shift, do not keep it to yourself. Share it. Tell a friend. Drop it in the comments below. Inspire someone else to rise with you. Because the more of us who live this way, the less fragile our world becomes. If this message resonated with you, hit subscribe. Not just for me, but for yourself. Each week we explore more of these tools, drawing from philosophy, psychology, and strategy, to help you master your mindset and build the life you deserve. The truth is simple. Inner peace is not waiting somewhere outside you. It is waiting inside you, in the decision to embrace the struggle and rise through it. Nietzsche saw it. Psychology confirms it. And now, you have the tools to live it. So step forward, face your struggle, claim your power, and discover the calm you create.